Hey guys, so today I figured I had a little bit of motivation, so I watched the movie 16 Candles. That movie is from the 80s. Classic movie. Pretty sure everyone's heard of it. It's referenced in a lot of movies. So I was well, it is under rom-com, so it's definitely something I was looking to watch, but then the reason why I wanted to review this one is because I was not expecting it at all. Clearly, you can see I have a full face of makeup. I just got back home. So I'm going to just change the look up. I'm going to make it, it's pink now. I'm going to make it orange. So let me get started. 16 Candles, main character is a girl called Samantha. Her name's Samantha. It's her 16th birthday, and basically everyone's forgot it. I'm gonna summarize the movie now, so spoilers ahead. Um, but just so we're clear, this is a rom com movie, but yo, this was more of a party movie to me. Let me see what's going on here. All right, so I gotta make this more orange. Anyways, this is more of a party movie for me. Like, the party was just like the middle part, and it took up. It was just it was a wild movie. Like, it's a rom com, but I feel like it was wild, and it was not what I was expecting at all. Anyway, so the movie starts off. It's Samantha's 16th birthday. None of her family remembers. They don't remember because they're on the cusp of her older sister's wedding, which is the day after her 16th birthday. So that's why it's it's not justified that her family forgot, but it's kind of justified because she had both her grandparents staying at her house with her. Um, she was kicked out of her own room because her grandparents were staying in there. She goes to school and she has this major crush on a senior. She's a sophomore. This senior has a girlfriend who's also a senior. But the hot guy, the other main character, his name is Jake. She thinks Jake doesn't know she exists, but he kind of does because like she stares at him and he catches her, but she like a person with longing. That's how she stares at him, and he notices that. And that same day, she had like dropped a note for her friend, and on it said like, who would you most likely lose your virginity to? And it was him. And he stole the note off the ground. So he knows that she kind of has a thing for him. She freaks out because she loses that note, but that doesn't go anywhere anyway. But his interest is just piqued with her even more after that. And he was telling his buddies like, yeah, he has the hottest girlfriend in school, but he's looking for more than that now. Like, he's looking for someone to love, is what he was saying. All right, so let's fast forward. And she's going back home, and the nerd or the geek, he's like the geek of the geeks, like the king of the geeks. I don't even think we know his name. He's just the geek. It's pretty much a douchebag, honestly, but it's just like all he knows what to do because he's a freshman, he's a nerd. So he's bothering Samantha on the bus, and she wants nothing to do with him, obviously. He's just like being super obnoxious. But this is how we're introduced to this other main character. So she gets off the bus, she goes home, and there's a dance that night. And at this dance, Jake is there with his girlfriend, but also the nerd's there. And at one point, the nerd comes up to her and he's just like dancing mad obnoxiously around her. And she kind of like breaks down for a second because she was staring at Jake while this is happening. And she's just like, this can't be happening right now. And it's still her birthday. You know, she's having a horrible day. No one in her family still remembers that it's her birthday. So she runs off to the hallway. She's crying. And then fast forward a little bit, she's in, it's back in the day, schools had like mechanic rooms where they would fix cars and stuff. So she was in there, she was sitting in a car, and then the geek ends up like sitting next to her, and they have an actual real conversation. And she starts talking about Jake, and he's like, Jake was just asking about you. And he was. So, and then she goes crazy. She's like, really? And then, like, after their conversation, he's just like, the geek is like, you should just go for it, in my opinion. And so that's what she tries to do. She goes back to the dance, and Samantha and Jake, like, have a moment, but she kind of, like, freaks out, obviously. So Jake is leaving with his girlfriend back to his house because his parents aren't home, and I'm guessing he's rich because his family has like great cars, they have a great house, and so now we're back at Jake's house, and there's a raging party happening. And I didn't mention at the beginning that one of Samantha's grandparents has a foreign exchange student with them, and they told her to take him with her to the dance, and he ends up picking up some random tall girl. And they go to this after party at Jake's house together. And when they get there, this part was hilarious to me because I guess he was already drunk or off something. Because they get there, they park, they hit something when they park. He's driving her grandpa's car. And then when they get out the car and they like zoom out a little bit, you can see that they crashed into another car with people inside it that were like making out in the front. And I'm like, yo, it's getting wild. Going for like an orange look, changing it from a pink look to an orange look. Anyways, so they're at this party. Everyone's getting drunk except for Jake. He's back in a room trying to call Samantha. Samantha went back home. But she's not staying in her room. So the people that are answering her phone are her grandparents. And they're like, stop calling. If Samantha has any sense, she wouldn't mess with a guy like you. So she doesn't get his calls, needless to say. And after this raging party, at this party, Jake's girlfriend gets hammered. And she like tries to talk to him, but he's like, I want nothing to do with you right now. So this girl gets her hair stuck in the door because he slammed the door on her. Her hair is stuck, and she's just like mad drunk. And her friends come around, and she's like, come help your prom queen. And what they do, instead of opening the door, they cut the whole back of her hair to get her hair out. Horrible thing. And you see it later on. It was just like the whole back of her head is gone. So let's fast forward again. The party's over, everyone's gone. His house is trashed, like holes in the floor. His house is trashed. But the geek was stuck in a table. Jake got him out, and they just started talking, and he was talking to her about Samantha. He was like, she's a really good girl. Because they had like a heart-to-heart, so I guess they're friends now, and he's vouching for her. He's like, if you hurt her, I'll do my best to kick your ass, type of thing. Jake tells the geek to take his girlfriend home, and she's still hammered. So he's like, but Jake, I can't drive. And he's like, it's okay, I trust you. He's like, but Jake, I'm a freshman. And he's like, it's fine, I trust you. And he's like, I don't have a license. He's like, it's okay, just take the car. So they go to the garage, and the geek is like, this is your car, Jake? And he's like, no, you can't drive stick, this is my dad's car. He was like, this is a Rolls Royce. He was like, the grill on this car costs $5,000. You want me to drive this car? He was like, I trust you. Just take her home. So this whole thing becomes a fiasco. Like, he takes the girl to his friend's house and they're like taking pictures so that he has proof that he was with the cheerleader, the senior, blah blah blah, the hottest girl. But then it's the next morning and apparently like they did everything together. Like, they slept together. And he was like, because he was a virgin and she was not, he was like, did I enjoy myself? And then he was like, no, wait, did you enjoy yourself? And she was like, yeah, actually, I think I did. So then they kind of end up having a thing. And Jake and her kind of like end things there too, because this is now the morning of, and they're at the church. So at the wedding, Samantha's sister gets super high off a muscle relaxer or something. Samantha's sister gets married to a douchebag, I guess, but he has money. Back in the day, that's what it was. And then at the end of the wedding, Samantha comes out and Jake's out there in his car. And he's waving over to her. He's like, come here. And she looks back and she's like, you talking to me? He's like, yeah, I'm talking to you. Ain't nobody else there. So she goes to him and, you know, she talked to her dad about Jake. So, and they were getting into the car, her family. And she was like, this is Jake. And then she just goes into the car with Jake. And they drive off. And that's the movie. So Jake and Samantha really had no interactions the entire movie besides a few awkward smiles. But at the end, Jake leaves his girlfriend. He ends up getting, you can say, together with Samantha. This was their first like date, I guess you could call it, because he took her out. Overall, it wasn't like what I was expecting. I was expecting like, you know, the girl, you know what you expect, like from the beginning there's a spark and then they start dating, maybe there's a few hiccups along the way, but then at the end they end up together. In these teenager movies, like to all the guys I've loved, I like those movies, even though they've made too many. There's 3 of them now. Or The Kissing Booth, but like, you know, I love watching them. But this one, it was more of a party movie to me. The movie was wild. It was not what I was expecting. But yeah, watch it. Pretty funny. It's definitely a rom-com. Less rom and more com, in my opinion. That's why, because you see the cover, you see that it's a classic and you're expecting some more romance, but it's more of a comedy, in my opinion. A little racist in some parts with the Chinese kid. That was pretty funny. I mean, it wasn't pretty funny, but it was funny how blatantly racist they were. Just like back in the day. But yeah, that was my opinion of 16 Candles. If you've seen it, is that what you were expecting from the movie? Because I was not expecting that at all. Let me tell you. Today I flipped my hair out. I was trying to go for more of a, I guess, the 80s look. I was flipping it out, trying to get it more, you know. But, yeah. See you in the next one.